What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update as we're now seeing Trump's attorney coming forth new details on the whole Juan Merchan, Alvin Bragg case, how this thing is heading towards a mistrial. We've been saying this since the beginning. We've seen this in a couple of Donald Trump's cases, big Delantis, a lot of them being put on the back burner. Fani Willis is in too much trouble for her own to focus on prosecute Donald Trump. Got Jack Smith's case, the classified documents case being postponed indefinitely or until after the November 5th election, most likely, by Judge Alina Cannon. So, a lot of these cases are catching big backfires and hits. And now we've got Judge Juan Merchan and that D. Alvin Bragg case, who are the only ones left in the balance. We got Alina Habba coming forth with this new update, let us know, keen to say on exactly where they're at with this trial and how they'll get this thing tossed out very soon. So I'm excited to get the update, see exactly what's going on there. So let's get straight to the update and I'll get my thoughts on the back end, guys. Definitely stick around until the end. So guys, get my thoughts on the back end. And also, YouTube, push this video out. Definitely stick around until the back end of the video, guys. But yeah, let's get straight to the update. Before we do that, though, make sure you guys hit that like button for me and also hit that subscribe button, guys. We're on the road to the truth. Hop aboard for the journey. Let's get into it, y'all.
Trump attorney Alina Habba is on Fox News revealing details about the way Judge Juan Merchan snuck out little details about Trump or had them kind of be able to ruminate on the gross aspect of Stormy Daniels, then tell the jury, oh, it never should have happened. Welcome to Doug in Exile. This is where the happy patriots are. This is how these trashy people are trying to plaster Trump with just the Stormy Daniels story. It's not going to work. Remember the E-tape or whatever it is in 2016, they thought that would take him out, the extra Hollywood tape where Trump said he'd grab a girl. Not that he said you can grab a girl, whatever, if you're famous enough. They thought that would end him, and it wasn't enough. Let's get into this one with Alina Habba.
Well, Judge Cannon reserved and did not give another date, but she said there is a tremendous amount of pretrial. There's other issues that have to be handled first. And
so she's giving us a quick update on the Alina Cannon one that I forgot about. Just that how Jack Smith blew that case. It's getting pushed back indefinitely. Part of it because he covered up and doctored evidence. I'll explain in a minute.
Found out that Jack Smith has his hand in the cookie jar. He was intentionally taking evidence, not telling the court that he had basically taken classified document covers, put him on the wrong documents because they were sloppy.
These are about the photos. I don't know if you ever saw the Mar-a-Lago photos. It has stacks of documents all scattered on the floor, and they all have top secret, classified statements on them. That was all doctored and posed. They put those covers on the documents, and come to find out, some of the documents they put those on were not classified documents. That's falsifying evidence. And that's why Alina Cannon said, look, this is all a big can of worms. We have to push this back, buddy.
And then what they did was put it in a footnote. They didn't think, when you put it in a footnote as a lawyer, that's, hey, I don't really want to highlight this, but it's in a footnote. And the people read it. We caught on. Obviously, our team is strong there, and they're looking at this closely. And Judge Cannon said, hold on. We got a lot of other things to do before you even try and pressure me, like you've pressured many other judges, into having these rush trials before the November election.
So that one is done. Mar-a-Lago, done. Fani Willis, likely done. And this Stormy Daniels one, well, there's no jail time associated with it.
Judge Merchan said about the defense complaining about the testimony, he said, I agree. It would have been better if some of these things had been left unsaid.
Now, this is about Judge Merchan allowing this gross testimony to come out about Stormy Daniels, speaking specifics about her and Trump in the sack, which is nobody's business, isn't even part of the case because it's not because Trump still could have paid her hush money even if it wasn't true. It might not be true for all I know. She could be lying about the whole thing. Maybe he pays her hush money because it's easier to pay her $130,000 to keep her quiet than to have her spill all this detail out to Melania.
But they were already said in front of the jury.
Yeah, this is the problem here. And the judge did try and put guardrails with the prosecution and say that these are the guardrails.
The problem is you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. You can't unhear something. But he said, yeah, we got to put the guardrails back on this, guys. I originally said you could tell all these Stormy Daniels stories. Now, let's veer away from that in this trial. And Judge Mershon knew it was too late. He wanted to slander Trump in public first.
Just go back to basics here. This is about books and records keeping. This is about somebody in Trump Tower who registered a legal fee as a legal fee payment. Okay, that's it. A payment to Michael Cohen, who was an attorney, to reimburse him was a legal fee. That's what this case is about. Where was President Trump? In the White House.
So Trump can't be responsible for this if he was in the White House. He had nothing to do with all this stuff. That's why he was saying earlier that he just probably signed a document, you know, saying pay whatever. It's part of his business. He signs hundreds of documents to have his business pay for stuff.
And they're trying to now make this a very salacious, it's a complete extortion situation. And they're using their hand for the Biden administration to, number one, slow him down so that he can't go on the campaign trail. Number two, get headlines that they think will damage him.
So all of this is just a big use of the waste of trial time for the Democrats to try and campaign against Trump. And then Trump, of course, is going to just say, fine, you got me tied up in court. How about I use this to campaign against you? And that is what this election is about. Not Trump versus Biden, but Trump versus the corrupt state.
Clear. And the judge was trying to prevent that. But I can tell you, I just thought the prosecution completely disregarded the guardrails, didn't care. And that's why we moved for a mistrial.
Oh, so I didn't hear that they moved for a mistrial. And so I haven't heard anything on that, but that's the first I heard of it. So I hope they do get a mistrial. They should.
How effective can the limiting instructions be for jurors?
I think they're useless. I think they're completely useless. I'll be honest with you.
I love this, too, because I'm very skeptical of our court system. It's antiquated. This is foolish to think that you can say you can get the judge can give instructions. You're not allowed to allow that testimony by Stormy Daniels to affect your decision is ridiculous. After what they hear, you can't, it's like if I show you a photo of a dead puppy on the side of the road, then say, oh, just pretend like you didn't see it. You can't unsee that.
This is an art. It's not a science. When you're in a courtroom, no matter what the reporters are saying, you have to understand that as an attorney, it's a craft. You have to sit there, you have to listen, you have to read the room, you have to read the judge and the jury.
I only put that clip in there because she said that being a lawyer is an art form. And I'm an artist. So I get to weigh in on this because I think I'm kind of an expert on the arts. I do agree. It is not about studying the law. It's about reading people in that jury and manipulating them, giving them information, influencing them. That's the art form of this stuff. And I hate to say it, but that's why I don't think it's about justice.
If you constantly object and a judge is constantly saying you're overruled, how does that make you look to a jury? Right. There is a dance that you have to do, and you have to look at everything. So that was a little bit of an unfair assumption, if you ask me.
I'm sorry.
That was because Judge Mershon blamed Trump's defense for not objecting enough during that Stormy Daniels thing. And she's saying you don't want to object all the time because it can be seen as being too much of a chatterbox and too disruptive. So that's her defense. That's his defense. In the meanwhile, though, this is good. I just wanted to give you a little more detail about how gross Juan Mershon ran his courtroom. It's disrespectful to his career and to the law. And this thing really ought to be thrown out on a mistrial.
Yo, there we have it, guys. Coming from our friend Doug in Exile. I'll definitely be sure to leave that original video link down in the description box below. For those who want to go over there and check that out, I want you guys to go there to show our friend Doug a bit of love. Oh my goodness. Seeing this case heading exactly where, Alina Habba keyed us in the last update, straight towards a mistrial, moving in and closing in on this case getting tossed out. The whole Stormy Daniels witch hunt case brought about by DA Alvin Bragg, guys. This was a dead case floating in the water. It was a misdemeanor, revived and upgraded up to a felony in order to come after Donald Trump. This is a blatant stab, trying to interfere with the 2024 election. Donald Trump isn't able to campaign because this corrupt judge, Juan Mershon, is forcing him to sit in court, nearly missing his son's graduation because of this case. I mean, this judge knows what he's doing alongside alongside of his partner in crime, DA Alvin Bragg. This is a big old stab, interfering with the 2024 election cycle, and also, trying to get those headlines. And that's exactly why we're seeing, everyone's trying to figure out why they let Stormy Daniels make the whole courtroom so uncomfortable with those stories she was telling, where she detailed, very personal information about Donald Trump and her. I mean, I just things we didn't need to hear. I mean, it's not even, pertaining towards the case. The reason why the judge let this go on is because they want those headlines. He was looking for, something in the headlines that was going to tarnish Donald Trump's name. I believe at least one of those stories, told on stand by Stormy Daniels was ran in at least one news agency's headline. So, I mean, it seems like Judge Juan Merchan got what he wanted, and then he tries to cover it up with that flimsy excuse saying that, the defense should have objected more to, this witness's testimony. But we all know that would have made it look like they were trying to cover something. Alina Habba made a very great point where she said, you don't want to object nonstop or continuously when a witness is trying to give their testimony, because then it seems like you're trying to interfere with them telling the truth. And that could be a bad look in, the jurors' eyes. This is all a big art form. Like she said, this is a big art form, and I have to dance around the courtroom, and try to, just float messages to different jurors to get them on the side of me and my client. I don't know, guys. This thing definitely looks like it's heading straight towards a mistrial. I mean, it was built up on House of Cards. It's waiting to topple down. There was no initial crime for this cover-up, the hush money payment to Michael Cohen. Not to mention Donald Trump never even touched the check. I mean, there was just a simple signature. He's trying to argue that point. He's trying to say that, I don't handle any of this. I was in the White House during this time. This was a routine legal payment by Donald Trump's employees turned into a whole trial. I mean, it just doesn't make sense, guys. I don't understand how we got from point A all the way to point C. It's just crazy. The steps in between, these rogue justices, rogue entities like DA Alvin Bragg. He's got this Judge Juan Merchan to play along with this charade case. I can't wait to see this whole thing get tossed out, and they both look like fools even further. I mean, this is kind of foolish to see. So, I mean, they are making a fool of themselves, Juan Merchan, DA Alvin Bragg, by even bringing about this case. But they're going to look even more foolish when this whole thing gets tossed out. Definitely hop in the comment section, though, guys. Let me know your thoughts. What we just seen, update coming from Alina Habba, Donald Trump's lawyer. It's already coming forth, letting us know this whole thing is headed towards a mistrial, going to get tossed out. My question is, how fast you guys think we see this whole thing ending? Definitely hop in the comment section and let me know your thoughts. Also, make sure you guys hit that share button and share this out to as many Facebook friends as possible. Also, make sure you guys hit that like button. It doesn't cost one thing, guys. Hit that like button for your boy, and also hit that subscribe button as we're on the road to the truth. Hop aboard for the journey, y'all. Catch you guys on the next one.